Hello. So I'm just in the mood to talk a little bit more today. And because I do this, I go on like a roll. I might make a couple of videos a day and a couple of videos the next day. And then I might be off. Excuse me. Then I might not do a video for the next 3 or 4 days. That's just the way I am. And it's because I don't think people realize the amount of work that they need to do on themselves in this particular time. Because what they don't realize, and I'm going to get into a question somebody asked me, a comment they left. But I don't think they realize that we are repeating the same thing. You know how they say nothing is new under the sun, history repeats itself. People don't realize when they're sharing all these articles, and I'm not going against them because then I have to realize I'm looking at reruns myself. It's no different from looking at Good Times every day, and you know it came out in the 70s. For many of us, it came out before we were born. Okay? But it's no different from looking at Good Times. But the thing with Good Times is you realize it's a rerun. We don't realize that what we're seeing every day is a rerun. We don't realize that we've been in the same time loop and playing out the same script for so long. And this is what we're really dealing with right now is karmic. And it's like eventually we're going to have to learn that this is something that has already happened. And now we have to make different decisions to not repeat the exact same script and do something different. Okay? But that's not what this is about. Somebody asked me, because I just did an upload about brown women being evil, and that, you have some brown women, and I completely understand, that say divest, get away from brown men, the black community. It's dangerous, and they keep trying to convince brown women to leave the communities and be safe. And you have some women, it's like they don't understand that the same way people like to constantly talk about how this Caucasian male is racist, but then for some reason can't seem to see that their mothers gave birth to them, right? They think they want to get on him being racist, but they don't. For some reason, they don't understand that their mothers gave birth to them, right? But also, their mothers also gave birth to some of the most powerful men on the planet. Because guess what? Guess why the brown woman is more evil than the non-brown woman, specifically the white woman? She made sure that a good product came out of her womb. There was another lady on YouTube that she's not here anymore, but she was one of the first people that I've heard on YouTube to talk about not giving brown males immortality now. Okay, so I'm not here to agree or disagree. I'm just saying she was the first person I heard on YouTube talking about that. And this was 5 years ago. This was in 2016, 2017. That she was talking about that quite a bit. Okay, and she's not on anymore because the minute she decided the moment she woke up to really realizing who brown women really were, and then she started to really tell brown women about themselves, that's when she lost her channel. All the stuff that she said about these brown men, and same thing with Miss Cynthia, right? All this stuff that she says about selective breeding, they might talk trash and threaten her, but I don't think they have gone as far as try to get rid of her channel. Maybe they have. But let me tell you something. She's going to wake up, just like this other woman did that said that message before 5 years ago. She already realizes that the main problems, Miss Cynthia G, already realizes that the main problem in the community is not necessarily the brown male. When I listen to her speak, I know that she realizes that. When I listen to her, she knows, and she has said out her mouth that the biggest problem is the brown women, because it's a male worshiping culture. It's a brown male, she says black male, worshiping culture. That's the sickness. That's the reason why these guys are so, a lot of them are so, they're renegade and wild like that, and they do whatever they want to do, and they disrespect the brown women, and they tear apart the community, and they are never held to a standard because the women who give birth to them don't hold their men to a standard. See, let me tell you something. It's up to the father to really teach the male how to be a man, but that woman needs to decide what comes out of her womb, because she is the one with the Stargate, okay? She does have more responsibility of what comes out of her. Now, the male have responsibility too. I don't want to take nothing away from him, but she is the Stargate. She is the portal that these men, these males come through. And that's not just a brown woman, all women, right? She's the portal. She decides what comes through her. Okay? So get back to this person before I forget what I was saying. She said, this person that who was the first person to talk about not giving these guys immortality. She said this was during her last days when she was really going in on brown women for being completely aware of their wickedness. Like, they were completely aware of their wickedness. They are purposely ignoring the message. Even when she was talking, they literally were purposely ignoring the message. And that's why I just kind of feel bad for these brown women. It's nothing wrong. Like here, like I said, most of the women that listen to me are brown women. I still like talking to brown women. I still have like little ideas in my head of things I'm going to say to brown women, little brown girls. But what I can't do is be under the delusion that there is going to be a collective change. That's not going to happen, because the reason why it's not going to happen, because I've come to the realization who the real problem is, and Tommy Sotomayor wasn't 100% wrong on the things that he said. I never watched him because he did have vitriol towards all brown women, so that would include me too, even though I'm not doing the things that other women are, that he don't like are doing. He has a problem. See, men like him just don't like brown women, period, or black women. He don't care who you are as a brown woman. He doesn't like you. Men like that worship whiteness. That is my issue with a person like Tommy Sotomayor or the Kevin Samuels or the Chris Browns or all these other men, is that all around they just don't like the dark skin tones. They worship whiteness. That was my issue against men like that. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you didn't do the things that some of these other ladies do that's careless. They hate you just the same because they worship whiteness. But overall, he wasn't completely wrong on really blaming brown women. He's wrong on blaming them 100%. He's wrong on that, because that's why they're no longer needed in society. If you're going to blame somebody else 100%, then that means that you just have no role to play whatsoever. So why are you here? If you can't take accountability for even 10%, then you're not even needed in this world, or any world for that matter. You're not needed to sit back and allow somebody else to take 100% responsibility, and you think you don't have any accountability for anything. That means you're worthless. And that's why they're probably being taken out. It's because by them not taking responsibility for any part that they had to play, that means that that the world does not need them. Okay. But yeah, this person said that the white woman is better. She was on another lady's platform, another woman who used to be on YouTube, who's not on YouTube. She had a bigger channel. Okay. And she was, I remember her, they would collab a lot. Okay. And I remember her last days on YouTube, she was on this other lady with this bigger platform on her channel before that other lady left too. And she would talk about how white women wouldn't just birth anything, right? Like they would shut their wombs down before they allowed their men to disrespect them in the way, or degrade their community in the way that brown women have allowed their sons to do. Okay? So that's when she said, she's better than you. And that's the white woman. She said she's better than you. But now when she says that the white woman is better, she's not talking about it in the way that brown men worship the white woman. She's not worshiping whiteness. She's saying because just like them and just like Asian women and all other women, a lot of women around the world, they are very selective about whose child they carry. Okay? Because they understand that those are genetics, and if you're dealing with a guy who just don't want anything out of life, he's a deadbeat, he's just ain't nothing, he don't want nothing out the world, he just you might not have a good child that comes out of that. They realize that it's going to be a genetic problem. White women realize it. I listened to this lady called the Universe Guru when she was on somebody else's channel. She was on two people's channels I still am subscribed to. Her name was the Universe. Her title of her YouTube channel is the Universe Guru. Those women get that they have to be selective about who they are having children with and who they're marrying, because whoever they deal with and whoever they decide to have a child by is going to greatly impact the children that comes out of her. And if you're dealing with somebody who just don't want nothing out of life, then that's going to affect the children genetically as well. All these other women get that. They all get that. And in a way, this is why, to me, it's not even in a way. This is why the brown women are on the bottom of society. Not because she's dark skinned. I get that you got these men who go out of their way to make sure they tear down brown women. But here, it had brown women been more selective about who they giving birth to, they wouldn't have this problem. That's what I'm trying to say here. If they were more selective about who they support, they would not have this problem. Now, the reason why I call them evil is because the level of the self-hatred is just, I think a lot of people have dealt with some kind of lack of self-love, no matter what color they are, and they had to learn and get however they learn to get therapy or whatever, or however they do it, right? But something about the hatred, the self-hatred that lies within brown women is so deep to the point where they don't seem like they want to live anymore. Okay? Their level of self-hatred is so deep. People talk about this brown man and worshiping this whiteness, but this brown woman, to keep supporting people who on a daily basis, minute by minute, tear them down, and she runs to support him, I realize that she's been through things. That's not what I'm saying. I realize that she's been through things. But the level of self-hatred to constantly run to somebody who tears you down is the reason why they stay on the bottom. Okay? And this other person, before she left, this is the bigger YouTuber that kind of promoted, she promoted interracial dating. She was the first person on YouTube to really promote interracial dating and marriages. She cried. She busted out crying. I cannot remember what year this was. Was it 2019? I want to say it might have been 2019. It was before the pandemic. I think it was before the pandemic, so it had to be 2019. She busted out crying. I remember I was in a restaurant and I looked at her and she busted out crying live because she could not understand why a group of women would fight so hard to stay at the bottom. I mean, you might not agree with the way she would try to help brown women level up, but then if you got a better idea, then come with your ideas, right? If you got a better idea, just come with your ideas. That's it, because everybody's not going to do the same thing, okay? But it was, it was women and that wanted to sabotage her, and they would do things for brown men in order to sabotage. Now let me get into why brown women, this evil that's in them runs deeper than just slavery. I talked about the fall of matriarchy. And it was a lot of brown women who taught their sons all the mysteries of the great mother, of the mother goddess, but because before they had all these male deities and these male gods, they were female, right? A lot of these, like Buddha, I think Krishna, a lot of these male deities that you see really came from these brown women, okay? And they turned into male deities. And a lot of these brown women were mammies during the fall of matriarchy, right? So they've been evil a very long time. Okay? They've been evil a very long time, and that's why you see them at their very lowest point right now. This is why you kind of see them at their lowest point, because they refuse to repent. And when I say repent, I'm not talking about this Christian God of this patriarchal Bible that people are reading now. I'm talking about they refuse to turn from their wicked ways and go back to their old style of worship, or not. It might not even be worship. It's just their original way of spirituality. Let me say it like that. Their original spirituality. They refuse to turn from their wicked ways and get back in divine order. Because the fall of matriarchy was because they were male identified and worshiped the penis then. Okay? The divine order was the female, right? But the men were still builders, but the women was just, they were spiritual, and they made a lot of the executive decisions, right? They made a lot of decisions while the men were still builders. It was almost like they were the supervisors, overseers. Okay? And they were the prophetesses, okay? They were prophetesses. Okay? So that's how that divine order went. And then they had deities, like if you look at if you read this book called by Mama Zobe about the Sibyls, Sybills, and the prophetesses of Mami Wata, right? They were the prophetesses of Mami Wata. In that book, and I don't have it with me now, but in that book, she talked about how a lot of these prophetesses, priestesses, okay, there were no high priests around it. They were just priestesses and prophetesses. No prophets, no priests. No high priests. Prophetesses, high priestesses, or however you call them, because I think that's more of a European way of saying it now. But the prophetesses, it was female, no male. What these women, a lot of them have done, was they went and they taught their sons the mysteries of Mami Wata and the mama goddess or mama god that they should not have taught their sons. Okay? And what happened was, when they started teaching their sons these mysteries, which they should not have done, slowly but surely, that's when matriarchy started to break down. But what happened was, a lot of their sons that they taught all these mysteries to, their sons ended up turning on them, or these men ended up turning on them. And so in that book, it was about before there was ever a race war, meaning between so-called white people and so-called black people, there was a gender war. There was always a gender war between the brown male and the brown woman. There was always a gender war, even back then. And what this brown male did was, when this Caucasian one named Alexander the Great, or some people call him Alexander the Greek, he wanted to know the mysteries. He was always trying to get into the spirituality of the brown people, the copper-colored Coptic, Coptic Egyptians. I don't know the right name for it, because Egypt was like the first dynasty, I think. That was the first dynasty after the fall of matriarchy. So what it was called before then, I don't think it was Kemet either. Okay? But a lot of these brown males hooked up with Alexander the Great, and allowed Alexander the Great, this Caucasian male, in to learn their spiritual systems. And the brown women, there was some brown women that was assisting this brown male in helping this white male. Okay, so the brown women, here's the thing, what I'm saying, and they were part of helping the brown men and the white men to violently overturn matriarchy. A lot of brown women were involved in that. So, yeah. And so I think a lot of the brown women that you see that are extremely hard-headed right now, that seem to not want to get the picture, those were the Sibyls that most likely were a part of helping the brown male and the white male to overturn matriarchy. This is why I really call them evil, because this evil in them goes a long way back. Those were the women who knew the spiritual systems. They were in charge of the spiritual systems. The spiritual system was that of Mami Wata and the Great Mother and other, feminine deities. And they were pretty much in charge. They knew all of the sex magic, right? They knew all of the secrets of sex magic. It was this show called American Gods that showed this lady, I forgot what, but men would get lost in her vagina, right? I forgot what they called her, what her character name was on the show, but she would suck them in her vagina, because they knew all of the secrets of sex, and a lot of men were very jealous of her because this was a brown woman on a show called American Gods. It was the first season. And a lot of men, no matter what race he was, because I saw a lot of Middle Eastern men and a lot of, those Muslims in the Middle East, which they're really jinns. Okay, they're jinns. They were jealous because this black lady, this brown lady, had all of the secrets of sex magic. She held the secrets, and they were so jealous of her. And that's why they want to control. I'm a little over the place, but I'm going to try to get back to it. That's why they want to control brown women's sexuality right now. That's why they always want to hop on her with twerking. Who cares if she twerks? Why do people care about brown women twerking? Really? I really care more concerned about these brown women politicians that go along with the get along when it comes to all these pandemics and lockdowns, more than somebody on TV twerking. It seems like these brown women politicians are a little more dangerous, honestly. Okay, they more dangerous than somebody twerking. But see, this is because they didn't have a problem when Miley Cyrus was doing it, right? Nobody had a problem when Miley Cyrus was twerking all the time, right? Because the black woman had the secrets. She was the whore, and she had all of the secrets when it came to that. And now you see a lot of people want to control her sexuality because she was the one that held the secrets. They want to make sure she stays suppressed because she's basically like the Queen Elizabeth. Okay? It's her. But a lot of those brown women, like in the book of Mama Zogbe, she talked about like some of the women that you see in the ghettos right now, like in the United States of America, because Mama Zogbe comes from the United States of America, even though I believe she lives in some part of Africa right now, because she wanted to get back into the spirituality of the Sibyls. And they do have males now that's involved. They do have male priestesses and stuff like that because it's in her book. But they respect the Mother Goddess. So those males respect the Mother Goddess. They should. If not, they're going to be punished. So I don't have a problem with that as long as they respect it. But she talked about how a lot of the women that's in the ghettos right now, throughout the United States of America, many of those women are the Sibyls that have been scattered, right? Those are the Sibyls that have been scattered. Like it was bloody. It was like that overturn of matriarchy was something bloody. I mean, they talked about how when some of these women got killed, and they had to, this isn't for this selective breeding talk. This isn't the first time they had to do that. When those women were on the run and they had to learn how to replicate themselves because they fell so low in frequency that they needed to have sex with somebody to replicate themselves, they were having sex with white men and all these other non-black men. This isn't the first time they had to do that. History repeats itself. This isn't the first time they had to do that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they got rid of the male. When I heard about the story of Khalifa, California, Khalifa, I think they saw that the brown male was a little worthless. And I think I heard even during that time, they were getting rid of. This isn't the first time that brown women have discussed getting rid of brown males. This isn't the first time. But yeah, she talked about how a lot of those women are some of the ones that's in the ghettos now. And I do believe, not to say that I haven't gone through things myself, but I do believe some of these women, their reason for this massive suffering, especially when they in these hoods like that, and then it seems like they can't listen. They'll give birth to 15 children, be on none of these fathers can pay child support, but they can't see where they're going wrong. I think those are some of the ones. The reason why she's turned so upside down is because she's been cursed, and I think it's the Great Mother that has cursed those women. Those women are under a curse, I think, by Great Mother. I think and so when I call them evil, it's because they refuse to turn from their wicked ways. They have been like this a long time. I think a lot of those women and the women that we see today, that you have so many people that come and try to give them the truth about what's happening, but I don't know why anybody need to tell them the truth. It's right in front of their face. See, here's the thing. Why do people who have not grown up in the hood need to tell women who grew up in the hood about how dangerous it is? I would never. If I didn't grow up in the hood, I shouldn't have to go and tell somebody who actually grew up in the hood about how dangerous it is over there, because she lives it every single day. That's stupid. That's like me never living in China, but I'm going to tell Chinese people about how China really is, but I ain't never lived in China and they were born and raised there. Does that make sense to you? Most of these people that keep trying to tell these women be careful with this and this and tell them about how dangerous it is, they see it firsthand. And the ones that keep trying to warn them don't know anything about growing up in no hood. So why are these other brown women that ain't never grew up in the hood trying to tell other brown women who have grown up in the hood? See, the thing is they don't care, and they refuse to turn back from their wicked ways even now. They're under a curse, but they're not under a curse by no God of the Bible. They are under a curse by Great Mother. I truly believe that those are some of the main women that helped a lot of these brown men to help this white male overturn matriarchy to start patriarchy. But what happened was, I guess this white male, like Alexander the Great and all of them, the Greeks and these Coptic Egyptians, I think they shook hands or something, and they had a deal. And this Caucasian male reneged on the deal, the same way he seems to continue to keep doing now. The same way he seems to keep doing now. Because I see where he keeps his fingers crossed behind his back when it comes to this brown male. Because it seems like, for a minute, the brown male was able to be the victim with Trayvon Martin and with Mike Brown and with who's the first one to talk about I Can't Breathe. He was a heavyset guy with dreads. I think he was in New York. Alton Sterling, Philandro Castile, and all these other ones. It seemed like he was allowed to be a victim. And I saw where the world looked like they was trying to have some sympathy for him, and it almost seemed like he was about to be redeemed. Like people was trying to, the way I saw it when I would go to the movies, when I would look at commercials, anywhere I would go, I would always see him paired with a non-black woman. When I would look at the previews, when I don't go to the movies like I used to. I haven't been there in a long time. But when I used to go to the movies, I would see previews. I will hardly see any brown women in any of these previews unless it was an all-black cast mostly. But for the brown male, even when it wasn't a black cast and it was mostly white or non-black cast, I still saw this brown male, and I hardly ever saw a brown woman. And when I used to live in Los Angeles, and I would drive up and down Hollywood Boulevard, I would see brown men paired with these non-black women all over these billboards. I would not see a brown woman at all. I knew they were removing the brown woman out the picture, and it looked like they were redeeming the brown male. That's what it looked like they were doing. But then now later on down the line, with this Stop Asian Hate and all this other stuff going on, it looked like he has become the villain again. I said, once again, this Caucasian male, he crossed his fingers behind his back. The brown male would not be redeemed. He ain't gonna be redeemed. Once again, and I'm not, listen to me. I am not pointing no fingers at the Caucasian male, because that's a deal between him and the Caucasian male. Here's the thing. This Caucasian male is not about to give up his position, not even to these Asians, okay? I get that these Asian males, they got the most money and they rich and they got but here, let me tell you something. This European male, I highly doubt, and this European female, the mother of this European male, I 100% doubt that they are willing to give up their spot. I 100% doubt that they are willing to share their spots. Okay? I kind of feel that a lot of these floods and this weather manipulation that's happening is to probably wash out the white people. Honestly, more than washing out the black people. Because here's the thing with brown people. Brown people don't seem to care. And this is not for every single person. I'm talking about as a collective in the way how they handle the information and the warnings that's given to them overall. They don't seem to care whether they live anyway. If you look at the way their children die in these neighborhoods and get killed in these neighborhoods, and how their little girls and boys go missing, I don't think the Asians are concerned that the brown people even want to live. If they don't care about their future generations, they don't really want to live. I truly feel that they are washing out the Europeans, because they don't want to go to war with them. This European male and female, I just don't feel like they're willing to give up their spot as the most powerful. Okay? So that's what I'm saying is, once again, this European male crossed his fingers behind his back, making it seem like this brown male was about to be redeemed and return back to Egypt, because they kept promoting Egypt. And for some reason, giving this guy the false sense that he was going to return back to Egypt and he was going to be back on top, because I guess they made a deal. And as usual, this European male crosses his fingers behind his back. He crosses his fingers behind his back. He realizes the position he is in. No matter what class he is, I don't care if he's in the trailer park. I don't care if he's middle class. And definitely the upper class. Definitely them, they ain't moving nowhere. Okay? But I don't care what class he in. They not moving out that spot. And I feel like that's why these Chinese and this weather manipulation, they going to wash them out. Because they want to be at the top now. China runs the United States. And they know that they ain't going to move out these white folks without no fight. They cannot move out these white folks. They have no choice but to wash them out. Okay, and to come up with all these reasons to take weapons and all these stories of all these mass shooters. I kind of went left again, but I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna get back to it, because they want to control these white patriarchs. But getting back to the woman, somebody wanted me to explain the brown woman, what I meant by she was so evil. And that's what I mean. A lot of them that I feel like that's in the hood, and it seems like you can't say nothing to them. A lot of brown women, it seems like they so male, and not just the ones in the hood, but a lot of them, they seem like they so male identified. They seem like they can't get it. It seems like no matter what you tell to them, it's like it's nothing that you can say. You can show them a million dead black women and girls in front of your face, and you can show where a brown male killed them all, and it seems like they don't care. That's evil. That's evil. Those are some of the same brown women that were willing to slaughter all of these matriarchs and all of the male matriarchs, because like there were male type matriarchs too, right? There were males that was in divine order too. They had no problem. These females that you see today, some of them that you see today that seem like they can't get it, they cannot get it, are some of the same ones from during that time when matriarchy was first overturned, had no problem marrying or whatever. I don't want to use these type of words. I don't like to call nobody names, but had no problem doing whatever she could do for this brown male with her penis worshiping self. Even during that time, she had to worship penis in order to turn on her spirituality, which was that of Mami Wata and Great Mother. She was penis worshiping then. She forsook, when I say she, I'm just talking about in general, a lot of these brown women. She forsook her spirituality to put him on the throne in place of Great Mother. That's what she did. That is what she did. She forsook her spirituality, which was that of Mami Wata and other feminine type of spiritual worship, to put her son and worship him in her place. That is why brown women today cannot stop suffering, because they refuse to repent from what they did. They refuse to repent from what they did. And I refuse to care for women like that, because they saw the bloodshed. They saw the bloodshed. Man, when you read that book, I read where some of these sick white men were having sex with the corpses of the Sibyls. They were having sex with their corpses. And these brown women, penis worshiping women, had no problems watching the bloodshed of these Sibyls and these little girls, and the men who tried to fight too, because they were men matriarchs. I believe, like the story of Cain and Abel, and he came to his father with those vegetables. He was a matriarch. He was matriarchal. He was a part of the matriarchy. They cast him out because he was a part of the matriarchy. Okay? He was one of those males that was for matriarchy. He was in divine order, and they cast him out. Okay, he was matriarchal. Everybody wanted, but the Bible, this patriarchal God, it seems like he's a villain, and everybody should just be on Abel's side. Cain killed Abel to save matriarchy. There were men who were matriarchal, black men, brown men, who were matriarchal and killed other men to keep the matriarchy, to stay in divine order. Yes, there was. And Cain was one of them. But this patriarchal God cursed, he cursed Cain. Okay? But that he was matriarchal. He was the one that came with all them vegetables. He was matriarchal. And yeah. So just like I made an example of a lady who showed all of these deaths of these brown women from the gun memorial, and no matter how many times she tried to show these women about how many brown women would be killed by these guys, it seemed like a lot of women just did not want to get the picture, because some of those ladies are some of the same Sibyls. And some of those ladies are some of the same matriarchs that were penis worshiping back then. They put her son, taught her son all the mysteries, and moved Great Mother, moved Mami Wata out the place, and put her son in the place of Great Mother. Okay, those women, they can't seem to get it. No matter how much you tell them, no matter how much their kids get killed, for some reason they don't get it. And I realize people want to put it on slavery because because people don't know history. That's why. They don't realize that brown women came before slavery. They don't seem to get it. Slavery is not going to turn this group of people this evil. They have been evil. They have been evil. Slavery ain't make them this doggone evil. They've been evil. They've been evil since Egypt. They've been evil since before Egypt. Okay? And yeah. So the women that seem like they just, I don't care what you tell them, they will still remain brown male identified. They won't get it. And the minute they see a brown woman have any sense of freedom, the minute that they see brown women look like she's carefree, these kind of women are going to do anything in their power. See, let me tell you something about these kind of women. They could care less about seeing this brown male with this white woman. You know why? Because this brown male has been trying to replace the brown woman with this white woman for thousands of years. Ever since the fall of matriarchy, he's been doing whatever he can to put the white woman in the place of this brown woman. He's been doing that. And these brown women have been aware. They've been aware since before Egypt. They've been aware. So when people keep trying to explain to brown women how these brown men worship whiteness, and these brown women seem to just like they can't seem to get it, well, they don't care. They don't care. They were the ones that helped this brown male kill all those matriarchs, and along with the males who were matriarchal too, like Cain. Those are the same brown women from that time that saw that these brown men hated brown women and wanted to replace her with a white woman, and these brown women were literally helping these brown men to replace her with that's the level of self-hatred right there. That's the level of self-hatred. I hope I'm not talking too loud. That's the level of self-hatred. Oh, never mind. I thought I heard something. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, I got quiet. But anyway, that is the level of self-hatred right there. Okay? Well, I'm just hearing something. Oh. I'm sorry to get quiet. I was just listening. So that is the level of self-hatred, okay, that I'm talking about. And so anyway, when you see these brown women, when that woman, going back to when that woman cried, and she said that she just don't understand a group of women that fight so hard to stay at the bottom. Well, those were the women who fought hard to help the brown male to overturn matriarchy and forsook her own spirituality and turned her back on Mommy Walter and turned her back on the Great Mother to uplift him. Now, how evil can you be? How evil can you be? Okay? So that's what I mean. And so I'm about to wrap this up. And so when you see these ladies that seem like it's no matter what you tell them, they seem like they can't get it. They seem like they don't understand it. They can sit there and they can watch their sons, their group of men, worship whiteness and run to these non-black women and even worship non-black men. And they will sit there and they will watch and will not do anything. They will sit there and see where they sexually abuse little girls and sexually abuse little boys. And some women do that too, to the little boys and stuff. But for the most part, they'll still sit back and watch and not care that they are tearing up the communities, that they're raping little girls and not raping little boys. And they will run to any type of whiteness that they can get their hands on. She will sit back and watch. But the minute, hear what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying closely, because I got to wrap this up. The minute she sees another brown woman, the minute she sees another brown woman that appears to be living carefree, that appears to be living her life like it's golden, she's going to have a problem. These are the same women, these are these same matriarchs from the time it was overturned, that no matter what, she taught her son the mysteries and he could do no wrong. She didn't care about the bloodbath. These are the same women that unfortunately, these women don't know history, so they keep trying to repeat themselves to brown women over and over again, like, oh, brown women, please be careful. Oh, just please, we're trying to get you to see how dangerous it is. They don't really know history. They don't realize that these are the same women from matriarchy that witnessed the bloodbath. Because we're constantly recycled, right? We're constantly recycled. So we've been in different time periods. We're constantly being recycled. We've been born over and over and over and over again into different experiences. That's why I'm saying these are the same women. We're born over and over and over again. Reason why we're born over and over and over again, because a lot of our souls were trapped here, right? No new souls came in. So that means we're being born over and over and over and over. Actually, we were never born, right? But we think that we're born. So basically, we're just having experiences over and over and over and over again, but there's no new souls coming in. So we are our ancestors. We were the Sybils. We were the ones probably doing parthenogenesis. We are the same people. Okay? And these women, unfortunately, they can't seem to get that. They don't understand that these women were the same ones that helped their sons to violently overturn matriarchy. Their sons could not have overturned matriarchy had it not been for a lot of these women teaching their sons what was forbidden. Okay? Teaching their sons what was forbidden. Okay? And, like I said, the same way if they can look at all this stuff happen to these little girls, and they can look at all these deaths happening to these young ladies, and they can see all this stuff and they not have a care in the world, and they still feel like they have a right to tell you that you can't go nowhere. They're the same evil woman that turned her back on her original spirituality, which was with Mami Walter. And these women, their bloodlines are going to end. They're done. There's no need in if she can't seem to, if you keep showing her, why do you have to keep telling them the same thing over and over again? Why is that? You don't have to do this to any other group of women. You don't have to go to any other group of women and keep repeating yourself the same way you do to these brown women. Why is that? They're not that possessed. They were the ones, they were the reason that matriarchy is gone. Well, matriarchy is not gone. We're just in a toxic matriarchy. Okay, we're really just in a toxic matriarchy, because to be quite honest with you, females still run the show, but you just see the men at the forefront. But to be quite honest, the females, they still run the show. So actually, matriarchy never ended. It's just a different kind of matriarchy. Okay, so, yeah, and those women, I mean, I feel for the women who feel like they really going to get to these women. Those women are done. Those women are done. Their bloodline is finished. Their kids are getting killed. They're not coming back. Okay? And I'm talking about literally a lot of brown women that's in, I'm talking about, anyway, I'm talking about a lot of brown women that's in certain realms, okay? That's in certain realms, especially lower realms, right? Brown women that's in lower realms that fell very low in vibration, I'm talking in lower realms. And no matter what you tell them, they seem like they don't get what you're saying. Those women are very smart. Let me tell you something. They know what you're saying. They don't care. And for some reason, it's hard to believe that these women are that evil and they don't care. That's why I say they're more evil than the non-black women. When these Asian women, excuse me if I'm talking low, right? But when these Asian women left their men and went to go marry up white men, you didn't have to keep telling them over and over again. You didn't have to keep making YouTube videos. Not that YouTube was really around back then, but you didn't have to keep getting on internets. You didn't have to keep putting out newsletters to them. See, it was something in them that had standards. This brown woman is cursed and she's done. And I'm talking about specific ones, not all of them. She's done. So every time you show something like this lady, Successful Ladies Live, that keeps showing this gun memorial, and then you have like Cynthia G now, I don't, if somebody have anything to say about her, listen, I don't really watch her content that much, but I do know what she talks about, okay? So I don't know what kind of person she really is. I don't know. I don't know her personal life. But I will say this. She is saying some similar things that other women have been trying to say. Until this day, in 2022, almost 2023, you still got brown women that refuse to see what's right in front of them. That's because they're gone. The bloodlines are ending. They're wicked, okay? They're wicked. And the reason why it's hard to get that and everything just has to be blamed on slavery is because people just don't really know history. But it's only a book away to really learn about who they were. Okay. I see they want to promote this movie about these Amazon. I think they call them Woman Kings or something. Okay, and really, it was about the Dahomey. What's it called? The Amazons of Dahomey. And those particular women were warriors, and they would go to war with other European male armies. These were females that would go to war with other European male armies to protect their kings. Okay, so once again, you're showing the black power woman fighting for the black man. Okay, it's a book called The Amazons of Dahomey. 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 That's a real book about these women who were soldiers, and I think they would cut off their breasts. I think it was their left breast because it would get in the way of their fighting. Okay. And those women were fighting to protect their kings. Okay, they want to make sure brown women continue to fight for the brown male. But yeah, I'm done. I've been talking a while. But and it's time for me to get ready to get ready for tomorrow. But yeah, I just want to go into further elaboration about what I mean when I call these ladies evil. And I'm talking about these specific ladies when I call them evil. Okay? Because, like, you have women. As much as people want to criticize the European woman, right? Why is it that all other groups of women, when they were dissatisfied with their men, and I'm talking about women around the world, anytime they were dissatisfied with their men, they would go to the European male because they felt like the European male would give them what they want. That's actually a compliment to the white woman's womb, okay? Because when you have women from all over the world, Asian women, no matter who it was, African women, when they are dissatisfied with their men that they gave birth to, they go to this white man because they feel like this white man is going to give them what they want. That shows the kind of woman, that shows what the white woman is willing to birth. That shows that she takes pride in what comes from her Stargate. This is why she is the standard of beauty and why she is at the top. The brown woman used to be the standard of beauty. You would never, and I want to explain this, you ain't ever going to see the white woman turn on herself the way brown women, and not all, but it was enough to violently overturn matriarchy. See, this is what I'm saying. It wasn't all brown women that turned against Mommy Water. It wasn't all brown men. But it was bad enough to get to the point where we are now, right? Check. It was bad enough to get to the point where we are now. You ain't ever going to see the white woman do no crap like that. That's why she remains the standard. Do you get it now? You get it now. This brown woman was the first to hate herself before the brown male was. She was the first to hate herself. She turned on the cosmic mother for her son. This white woman ain't ever gonna do that shit. She ain't ever gonna do that. She is never going to forsake her image to uplift her male son. But yet and still her male sons remain the most powerful. That's why she's the standard of beauty. Do you get it? It's not about how she look in the face. It's about what comes out of her womb. It's about what comes out of her womb. She birthed the most powerful men on the planet. She did it. Every woman in the world who has been dissatisfied, even the women in the Middle East, I don't care where she is in the world, every woman that has ever had a problem with the men that come out of them, including this Chinese woman, including the Japanese women, including the Korean women, including this these Middle Eastern women, including the Ethiopian women, I don't care, West African, whoever, every single woman that had a problem with the males that come out of their wombs went straight to this white man. That goes to show that the white woman knows how to birth a leader. She knows how to birth a king. Okay? She knows how to birth a king. That's why she's the standard. When every woman on the planet goes to her son, that shows that she is selective of what comes out of her, or what comes through her. She's selective, and that's why she's the standard. It's all about the wombs. Those Asian women look good to a lot of men right now because they raised their standards. Look at how they men are now. Look at Asian men now. That's why these Asian women have become the standard. They're starting to become the standard. And to be truth be told, the war is kind of between Asian women and white women. The white women ain't willing to give up that spot. These Asian women took note. Not only did they go and date white men and turn their back on Asian men, but they took note on the kind of standards that this white woman had for her son. and what they were willing to birth. This Asian woman took note, and she took note and she did a good job, because now look at the Asian men, right? Look at what comes from the brown women all over the world, but specifically United States of America. Look what comes out of her. A bunch of men who they disrespect her, they rape the girls, and men pretty much do that all. Okay, let me tell you something. When it comes to raping, I can't give men a pass on that, no matter what color they are, okay? But when it comes to patriarchy, brown women don't set standards for their men. So the reason why brown women stay at the bottom is because they don't honor their wombs. Okay, white women honor their wombs. It's not to say they haven't given birth to trash, but they definitely gave birth to kings. Women all around the world, they want to go to this white man. Oh, I want to get me a white man. Now they talking about Asians. Now Asian men rising up there. But for the longest, it was that white man. And that goes to show that the white woman knew how to birth. She knew how to birth a king. She did. Okay. And what makes the brown women, a lot of them, so evil is that they realize that they're putting out trash and they don't care. But what's worse than her not caring about her sons and what they're doing is the fact that she dishonors herself. She dishonored her own spirituality. She was the first to hate her image. The brown male was not the first to hate the brown woman's image. The brown woman hated her image first when she turned her back on Cosmic Mother. She hated her image first. The brown male did not hate her image first. Okay, she is the epitome of evil. She is. Because you ain't ever gonna find a white woman. I mean, you'll find individual white women who lack self-esteem, okay? But I'm talking about a collective. I'm talking about a collective. You just ain't gonna find when a white woman is gonna hate their image that much and turn their back on their own style of spirituality and forsake their own image and put something else above it. You just ain't gonna find where she gonna do that. But we saw that the brown woman was the first to hate herself when she decided to put her son in the place of Cosmic Mother. That's what she did. And that's why she continues to suffer right now. Because they refuse to repent. Many of them. They refuse to repent from their wicked ways. And they can look at little girls get raped and killed, and they can look at other brown women get killed every 5 hours. They don't care. They don't care. They sat and watched the bloodshed when matriarchy was overturned. They watched the blood. These are the same women that watched and witnessed the bloodshed and did not care. As long as their sons rose to the top, they didn't care about how many women and girls were killed even during then. Okay? I'll talk long enough because I got to get ready to go. It's time for me to just get ready for the next day, get ready for tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Okay.